Idubbbz, this is your last fucking chance. Idubbbz, if you don't make a content cop on black people by the end of the month, Idubbbz, let's go ahead and take a little stroll down memory lane. Let's look at the Idubbbz of the past, and let's compare him to the Idubbbz of today, and then to the Idubbbz of tomorrow. Look at this. You can tell that he's retaining semen. You can tell he's not busting inside babes, because that's fucking disgusting. Idubbbz used to be a Blue Lives Matter creator. Now, he can't go one day without tweeting about how he wants to kill all cops. Look at this masculine haircut. This is what a man sort of would have. Nowadays, I can't tell the difference between Idubbbz and Anissa because they look exactly identical now. What are those tits? Idubbbz has tits now? Look at those fucking things. Projecting this into the future, Idubbbz is going to become a total sissy fuck doll if we don't save him from the clutches of his wife.
What we do here is go back.
No, you are not allowed to come unless I say so. That is an order.
Content Big's hungry and he wants slop. Maybe I could have Idubbbz' face getting absolutely smashed by me. So Idubbbz recently made an apology video where he basically apologizes to the creators who were harassed as a result of his content cop videos, and to all the black kids in like middle school and high school who had to deal with Idubbbz fans. Needless to say, the commentary drama community, they're not very happy about it. In fact, they're quite pissed off. They're so pissed off that they decided to make the same video like 300 times under different channel names as well. I'm gonna look at some of those responses. Mostly one video. I'm not here to watch every single 40-minute video that's being dropped about Idubbbz, the downfall of Idubbbz from hero to hypocrite. I'm not interested in that. A lot of the videos were about what you would expect. The most boring guy ever, sort of summarizing events that have happened and occasionally throwing in like a cuck, throwing in a beta male. They've gotten very into using sort of red pill style rhetoric lately.
Sadly, in recent years, he's done away with such a persona and become unbased and blue-pilled.
From basically an edgelord anti-SJW figurehead to essentially what you could describe as woke.
Looks like you either die based and red-pilled or live long enough to become the cuck.
But the main guy I want to focus on is called Can You Bra? If he doesn't look like one of Elon Musk's kids, I don't know who does. He gets a lot of bonus points, though, in my book for showing his face. He's sort of doing a British Idubbbz.
I'm fucking British, mate.
In line with that, he's not a content cop, he's a content constable, which I guess is cop in British. He says that we shouldn't take this content too seriously, so the gloves are coming off, the regular gloves, and we're putting the silly gloves on, okay? We're about to get silly as F watching Content Constable Idubbbz edition.
What we do here is go back.
Idubbbz, also known as iCucks, Simp.
If Idubbbz was making content cops now, he could be calling people cuck and simp. You see, that wasn't happening so much back then. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Content Cop. Today, we're going to be eviscerating a simp.
I think it's important to look back at Idubbbz at what he used to stand for.
If there's one thing I always loved about Idubbbz, it's how he stood for things. It was really his great ideas, the intellectually stimulating sort of arguments that he would craft. You know, yes, you should eat the moldy strawberry. It'll taste like fuzz. You should be eating crap out of the dumpster, out of the trash can. Idubbbz used to eat moldy food out of the garbage can. Now he eats nuts out of the planter's can.
This new version of Idubbbz is very hypocritical.
No! He's hypocritical now! No! Ah! Crap! Ah! Ah!
He's hypersensitive to criticism.
Ah! He's sensitive! Ugh! I hate hypocrites so effing much. But then you add sensitive. He's a sensitive hypocrite?
He's very prideful.
Ah, but he's prideful on top of the prideful, sensitive hypocrite of YouTube. Shit. Fuck. Idubbbz was truly humble before, and he was nothing if not intellectually rigorous with his claims and arguments. And certainly he was not sensitive. He ate dirt right off the ground.
And is very egotistical.
Come on, you're making a YouTube video right now. Let's not pretend, anybody who makes a video of themselves and is posting it because they think other people will watch, it's kind of an egotistical thing to do. This is the wrong medium to make that criticism.
He lets his emotions get in the way.
Oh my God, his emotions, that's sort of already the sensitive thing. You kind of said that again. But yeah, he's an emotional, sensitive hypocrite who's effing prideful and egotistical as fuck.
His girlfriend likes to manipulate and control Ian a lot.
She's like the spider, and she's got him in her web, which the spider is sort of the penis, and the web is the pussy. Don't fuck women, guys. They'll trap you. Their little pussy web will shoot out and entrap you, and then you'll have to make videos about how many peanuts are in the can.
This response video is definitely one of the worst response videos I've ever fucking seen. It's kind of funny coming from Idubbbz, the same guy who made fun of Leafy for when Leafy was complaining about people making fun of his chin and disabling comments on his YouTube channel. You think Idubbbz would be able to understand the concept of going with the joke.
What do you mean, go with the joke? Because for Leafy, it's not that complicated, right? People are making fun of Leafy for having a small chin. All he has to do is sort of be self-aware about it and sort of poke fun at himself. Idubbbz, on the other hand, what's he supposed to do? Like, should he have made a video and been like, yeah, guys, my girlfriend's a whore. Yeah, my girlfriend's basically a whore. You're right. Yeah, I hate her too. Are you such like an absolute online freak that you would prioritize the way that your fans perceive you? You place that above the well-being of your girlfriend and your relationship with her. He's been outside before, clearly, but the way he's talking now, it's like, has he ever left YouTube? Hopefully your significant other isn't embarrassing for your YouTube fans, because that'll be a real fucking problem.
So, for somebody that used to make fun of other people's appearance and criticize other people's dumb and blatantly emotional actions and responses to his videos, he doesn't seem to be that good at taking criticism and laughing off jokes himself, does he?
I guess whenever you're not, like, funny and you aren't good at making arguments, you just have to sort of make shit up and pretend that you're too retarded to tell the difference between somebody making jokes about you and somebody harassing a member of your family or your significant other. Like, you know that those two things are different. You're just pretending like they aren't, because otherwise your argument doesn't work. But you're not smart enough to come up with an argument that does work. Whatever. Most of the people who are watching this video aren't thinking about the arguments being made at all anyways.
I mean, what is this? Like, who is this made for? What, his old fans? Who, on a recent interview, has said that he hates them.
There were quite a few human beings that I interacted with.
In person?
Yeah, in person, that just sucked.
A lot of the clips that I watched also make use of this clip from his interview with Anthony Padilla, where he talks about some of his fan interactions not being very good. And, let's be honest about what those interactions almost certainly were. It was people walking up to him and yelling the N-word.
And what would they say? What would they do?
Things that I am certainly not going to repeat. I'm talking bad words.
See Idubbbz sitting down, about to chow down on some food at Chili's, and they shout across the restaurant. They're like,
"Get that nigger faggot out of here."
Hey, Idubbbz, 1350, Idubbbz. Idubbbz, 1350. Is it so hard for these people to imagine that an Idubbbz fan would do something antisocial and weird? I hear Idubbbz talking about fans that are like freaky and antisocial, and I think, yeah, that makes sense. I don't immediately assume that he's talking about me.
My old fans, the people that got me to the position where I am now. Yeah, those old fans that got me millions of views and gave me millions of subscribers.
I think you don't understand how being a fan of something works. Acting like you subscribing and watching his videos is a favor you were doing to him is a bit fucky, right? You liked his videos. That's why you watched them. You weren't doing him a favor. I'm not subscribing to somebody so that they'll be my friend one day and that they'll agree with me on everything. That's not really what I think the point of subscribing to a channel is.
I made fun of people in the past, and it was okay when I did it because I was funny. But the second that my fans and other people start criticizing me and my girlfriend, that's a step over the line. That's too far. That is uncalled for. It's not nice. God, this dude is fucking hell. Fucking hell, Idubbbz. Something else that he criticizes not only his old fans for, but himself, weirdly enough, for doing, is taking the mick out of people who blatantly deserved it.
You know, he's just calling Idubbbz a hypocrite for his sort of thoughts on making fun of people. But then he immediately goes on to say, yeah, Idubbbz is criticizing himself for making fun of people in the past. And it's like, yeah, so he's not a hypocrite, right? You've disproven the point that you were making in your own video like 2 seconds later. Maybe he's not pretending to be retarded. Maybe he just is.
Yeah, you know, the fine bros, you know, those fine chaps that back in the day tried to monetize and copyright the word reaction, and then when they were called out for it by the commentary community, they fucking gave an awful response video. Yeah, you know those guys? It's a little awkward when I meet those guys, you know, because it's just a goof and gaff, you know.
He says the crazy thing that the Fine Bros did, and then he follows it up by saying they had an absolutely bad response video. Like, making a response video that isn't good is like some horrible crime. Leave that out. Like, that honestly takes the wind out of the actual crazy thing that they did.
The Tana thing was my...
Oh, that was so long ago.
Was my idea. Yeah, that drive and everything. And now I think back to it, I'm like, I can't believe we literally harassed an 18-year-old child.
You know, Tana Mojo, you know, that one girl who was super fucking hypocritical in that and who couldn't react or respond well at all to criticism.
That was a headshot. Kill shot. Got her. That girl who was super hypocritical and couldn't even respond well at all, even to criticism.
Her blatant use of using, you know, racial slurs.
That's not what was criticized in the Content Cop, buddy. I know that might sound like the craziest thing in that list that you compiled, but at the same time, it's not the thing that the Content Cop was about. You can't pretend as if part of the point of the Content Cop was that she was bad for using racial slurs. No, it's that she was a hypocrite. And she was a hypocrite in the sense that when she was younger, like, I don't know, 16, 17, she used racial slurs. And then, her being older, 18 or 19, now she thinks it's bad to use racial slurs. You know, what a hypocrite. What an evil bitch. What a fucking cunt to be such a blatant hypocrite.
And me and my girlfriend, we definitely weren't excited to do this. I mean, it's not like we drove for 8 to 9 hours on the road to a convention just to meet her to prove a point.
I don't know why he's doing this weird sarcastic framing for each of these points. It comes off very weak. Be assertive. Say the things that you think. Don't imply them by being sarcastic, especially whenever you're just fumbling over your words anyway. So that's the first 9 minutes of the video, and that's the main points that he's going to make. You know, the next section in the video is about Sam Hyde, and the basic point that he's trying to get off there is that, like, Idubbbz is petty. And I guess it's fine. Like, maybe he is. I don't know. I'm not that invested in it. Then he has a section about Anissa where he gets really invasive, trying to psychoanalyze their relationship and shit. It's hard to know what even, like, your very good friends are like in a relationship. Like, that is a difficult thing to ascertain and figure out and get a read on. Let alone this person that you don't know at all. Like, you don't know Idubbbz. You don't know Ian as a person. Most of his content is not personal at all. And it's intentionally that way because there's a bunch of freaks like you that are looking to pick apart every single element of his life. In that, he claims that Anissa, when she was 24, dated a 17-year-old. And maybe that's true. That's a pretty creepy thing to do. But based on a Google search to see how old the guy was and the little image that he used. The guy was 18. Either way, it's a bit of a creepy thing to do. It's a bit weird. But unless she was like babysitting the guy when he was 12, it's fine, you know, especially if he was moved out of his parents' house and stuff. Who cares at that point? If he's 18, he can fuck whoever he wants. He uses the fact that somebody who claimed to be in Anissa's family sent Sam Hyde an email, and they said that the family doesn't like Anissa or something, and it's like, okay, yeah, that checks all the boxes. There's no way somebody would lie about that. There's no way Sam Hyde would ever dishonestly represent something. How are you going to verify that? You don't know her family. Why are you speculating about any of this shit? Just because you think Sam Hyde is funny doesn't mean you have to believe everything that comes out of his fucking mouth. But that section's just a really freak sort of section. Then he sort of goes into the Froggy Fresh thing, and then Creator Clash. The Froggy Fresh stuff, I don't care. He seems like a cunt, but that's, I guess, only based on the Idubbbz video. So, you know, I'm obviously biased in that regard, but I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. He just seems like an annoying guy. In the Creator Clash section, he talks about Creator Clash making $3 million and only $1.3 million going to the charity that they said the money would be going to. He calculated that about 60 grand was going to each of the contestants. And again, it's like, is he pretending to be stupid or is he just stupid? Because all of these people are on a daily basis working with professional boxing trainers. That's not cheap. And they also all had to travel out to the event. You know, that's not cheap either. Are you expecting for these creators to buy into Creator Clash at like a $60,000 loss? You know, on top of all the time that they're spending training that they would normally be spending making content and making money off of that content? No, probably a lot of them wouldn't do it. Especially looking at Creator Clash 2, a lot of these people definitely don't make enough to drop 60 grand on a personal trainer and travel expenses. Seems like pretty simple logic to me. I didn't have to think about it that long to figure that out.
Ian, if you ever watch this, I know it comes across as making fun of you, which it is. I know it comes across as being very critical of you, which it is meant to be. But it's all in good favor, because I want you to change. I do think there's still some good in you, man. You did produce some really good content back in the days, and even some of your new stuff, like your documentaries. They are still very good. You've got a knack for filmmaking, my friend.
Idubbbz, Caney Bra just said, you have a knack for filmmaking. Maybe you will make it in this wacky world we call YouTube. This stuff is all hilariously condescending. I mean, the whole video is, right? There's no agency in Idubbbz. Idubbbz doesn't make any choices. You know, Idubbbz can't change his mind and disagree with you. No, that's not possible that somebody could disagree with you that you liked. That's insane. They must be manipulated by an evil force of some kind. Likely their girlfriend's evil pussy.
I believe in you. I think you can change if you want to change. Not Anissa, though. Keep Anissa out. I know we've made jokes about it before, but look, just get Anissa out. You've seen what her actions have led to, what her and her mother's actions have led to. Get her out.
Your wife is ruining your life. Divorce her. Divorce your wife. For me, Idubbbz. Divorce your wife and epically make videos again. Idubbbz, make a content cop on your wife. Please, Idubbbz. Please make a content cop on Anissa. Please. Fuck, Idubbbz. You gotta get out of there. She's got you.
Idubbbz, come on, man. You were meant to be the savior. You were meant to criticize people, not bloody join them. Alright, Ian. Let's dance.
A lot of people are sad that the content cops are gone now. They're not really gone, they're just unlisted, but I think most of that sadness comes from the fact that, you know, Idubbbz isn't proud of those videos, and a lot of people enjoy them. But I think what's very easy to sort of not take into account is the fact that a big part of his video is about his audience. He cultivated a shitty audience, and the drama YouTube shit is a big part of that. There are plenty of people who subscribe to Idubbbz because they love drama bullshit content. They love the sort of tabloid magazine juiciness of all of that stuff. They talk about drama like somebody would talk about sagas in Dragon Ball Z. Everything is super grandiose and important, and also nothing is, right? Nobody believes anything in the commentary space. You look at that, that's already a pretty bad audience to be attracting. Really fucking annoying people. And then, you know, you throw in people who are just stoked that somebody's saying the N-word. Those are two groups of people that you just don't want to have as your audience. It turns out that those people actually fucking suck, all of them. A lot of these videos, they lament the fact that they've lost this great warrior in some big ideological battle between woke and the anti-SJW movement. God forbid a guy make funny videos on the internet. God forbid he just be a YouTube comedian. No, he's a culture warrior, battling off the cucks and the SJWs. For right now, I'm done talking about Idubbbz' audience. I want to talk about the main thing he's apologizing for. Sure, the content cops or whatever, but I'm not guessing that the reason that he is taking them down is primarily because Joey's Super Cool Food Reviews was hurt by his video.
Grimace's birthday! Grimace's birthday!
I think it's mostly the Tana video. I think that that's the one that he probably has the most problems with and that he probably regrets the most. You know, taking them all down is just a sort of universal, I'm not doing this anymore act. But I think that that's the main one that he has a problem with. So, you know, really the point that he's making is that she's a hypocrite. And we've talked a little bit about hypocrisy earlier on. Again, commentary channels, they don't really believe in anything. And whenever I'm talking about commentary channels, I'm talking about guys, they're playing Spore. And they're screen recording that and then chatting over that and showing you screenshots of tweets. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fucking Leon Lush making a video about a crazy lady who freaked out at Target. Hypocrisy is so weird because it's like not a moral failing, it's a logical inconsistency. Hypocrisy doesn't matter unless you're in like a debate club. Oh, you said one thing this time, now you're saying a different thing. It's like, yeah, that fucking happens. It's called learning. That's what learning things is. Welcome to fucking being a person who exists. Again, they're doing the thing where they're pretending to be retarded because they're incapable of formulating a thought in their head. And even whenever that's not the case, most of the time that you accuse somebody of being a hypocrite, they'll just add a condition to their original statement. Not everybody's constantly hedging every claim that they make so it can't be picked apart by the most annoying piece of shit on the planet. Obviously, somebody could say stealing is wrong, and that could generally be true, but there's about 1 million caveats to that statement. There's in fact so many that it would be absurd to try to list all of them. The commentary people, they all use the claim of hypocrisy sort of as a substitute for taking any actual position. All I'm saying is that they're being inconsistent with themselves, but they're not willing to like actually engage with what's being discussed. So many of the videos about Idubbbz are talking about how he's a hypocrite, when really, who gives a shit? What you should be talking about is the thing he's doing wrong. If you think his content sucks, you should be talking about why it sucks, because fucking spoiler alert, it's not because he's a hypocrite. That doesn't make any sense. That has nothing to do with the quality of his content.
Either all of them are okay, or none of them are okay. It's either all okay, or none of it's okay.
Idubbbz says that, but like, would he feel the same way if somebody was yelling at a black kid who was on their property and calling them the N-word? No, he probably wouldn't say that that's okay. He's talking about like the N-word specifically, as if you can't say it, which I'm gonna go ahead and let all you guys know. You can say the N-word whenever you want. At the end of the day, it's always so confusing to me. It's like, what are you complaining about? That people get upset at you for saying something? Because people have the right to get upset at you for saying something if they don't like it. I'm sorry, that's part of the deal. You say things and maybe people don't like you because of it. That's the argument everybody sort of fixates on, but I also think it's the dumber one. That one had no effect on my little brain. As a dumb kid, the part that really stuck in my brain was this idea of sort of depowering the N-word.
I remember initially hearing the word cunt and how awful that sounded, but I've used it so frequently that it means fucking nothing to me now.
Cunt. Cunt. Tech cunt. Tech cunt here. Okay, cunt.
So all of you people out there who hold these words at such high esteem, you are giving it the power that you so desperately want it to not have.
That argument at the time, that checked the box for me. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Of course, I wasn't bright enough at the time to realize that there were, in fact, if you can believe it, there were periods of time where people were throwing out the N-word willy-nilly. It didn't even matter, okay? They were throwing nillies here, nillies there. It turns out that actually, that was a pretty racist time. Because here's the thing. The way Idubbbz is talking about the N-word is like it's saying fuck, right? Like, if everybody said fuck all the time, then yeah, fuck becomes not as extreme. It doesn't really mean that much. But the thing is fuck isn't a slur. The only power that like constant use takes away from the N-word is its ability to just be offensive to the average person. But the thing is at any time, if it was used in the right context, it would be a slur again, and it would take on the same dehumanizing qualities that it had before everybody was saying it, except now it's not an indicator that the person using the word is a freak. The logic of the video does almost make sense a little bit if you just imagine that black people don't exist. You know, it's a video about the N-word, but he just doesn't talk about black people ever. Like, they just aren't a part of the equation. It's only people who think you should be able to say the N-word, and then white people who are offended by it. And black people, they're not even a part of the fucking discussion. Maybe it's not that bad of a thing that some language might exist that immediately indicates to you that somebody's racist. The real argument, of course, the best argument for not saying the N-word, and the most obvious one, but also the one that I feel like you're least likely to consider if you're a 14 or 15-year-old, is that you shouldn't do things that make people feel bad. There's a 100% chance that you're going to make somebody uncomfortable, or maybe even make somebody like a little bit scared, right? It's a fucking asocial freak thing to do, to be saying the N-word out loud in public. And if you're already willing to break social taboos in this way, who knows what kind of shit you might get up to, you know? You're a freak. If you need a really selfish reason, yeah, that's why, right? You don't want to be seen as a freak. You don't want everybody to think you're a racist little freak. A lot of people, especially if you are like 14 or 15, won't tell you. They're too scared, or they don't know how to stand up for themselves, and they won't tell you that you're making them uncomfortable. If you're using the N-word in your casual conversation, you're gonna make somebody feel uncomfortable. You're gonna make somebody feel bad. If you're cool with that, then go ahead. But if that's something that you don't want to do, then just don't say it. That's the video. Check out some of my other videos. Just look. There's probably one that's going to be recommended to you, but also just check out the channel. I never want to meet Sam Hyde, and it's not because I'm scared of him. It's because his head is so big and full of blood that I'm worried it'll pop, and shards of his bones will fly into my eyes and face.